Have you ever noticed that sometimes a change happens around you, and you only realize it after it's already affected you? Like when your phone's ringtone suddenly feels louder than before, or when your favorite app slightly redesigns its layout but you can't exactly tell what changed, yet it feels different. That feeling, that subtle shift you just barely notice, is what psychologists call the just noticeable difference, or JND. In this video, we're going deep into the psychology behind just noticeable difference. How does it work? Why does it matter? And more importantly, how is it being used against you in your everyday digital life, in advertising, in apps, in social media, in the way you consume products and information? Let's break it down completely. The term just noticeable difference was first coined by German psychologist Ernst Heinrich Weber in the 19th century. He discovered that the smallest detectable difference between two stimuli is not fixed, it's relative. This became the foundation of what we now call Weber's law. The law says that the greater the intensity of a stimulus, the greater the change must be for a person to notice the difference. For example, if you're holding a 1 kilogram weight and I add 100 grams, you'll probably feel the difference. But if you're holding a 10 kilograms weight, that same 100 grams will barely register. So how does this apply to modern life? Let's talk technology and design first. Take your favorite mobile app. Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook. These apps constantly go through micro adjustments in their UI, colors, font size, button placement, sounds. You often don't consciously notice it. Why? Because they keep the changes below your JND threshold. They know if the change is too big, your brain will resist. But if it's small enough, just barely detectable, your brain adapts without resistance. Over time, they can take you from one design, one behavior, one experience, to something completely different, and you won't even remember how it happened. This is not accidental. It's design psychology in action. Product teams use A/B testing and behavioral analytics to measure the exact level of change users can accept without drop-off. If you log in one day and suddenly everything looks unfamiliar, you'll feel discomfort. But if those changes happen gradually, one shade of blue at a time, one pixel of padding at a time, your mind absorbs it seamlessly. That's the power of JND. Let's take marketing now. Ever wondered why a price drops from 500 rupees to 479 rupees, and it feels like a better deal, even though it's just 21 rupees? That's JND at play. Marketers study the threshold where the price change is just enough to feel like a deal, but not so large that they lose profit. They calculate exactly how much discount is needed for you to feel it. In grocery stores, ever notice how packet sizes shrink over time, but prices remain the same? Your chips pack may go from 200 grams to 190 grams. You don't notice it because it's below your noticeable difference. Over time, brands can reduce costs without triggering consumer awareness, and you'll keep buying, unaware you're getting less. Now let's shift to audio and sound engineering. JND in hearing means you won't notice a 1 decibel change in volume if the original sound is loud enough. That's why ads sometimes slightly raise the volume in between YouTube videos. Your ears feel it, but your conscious mind doesn't catch it. That small boost grabs attention, spikes emotional response, and forces you to listen. Let's talk social media. This is where JND becomes dangerous. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube don't just show you content, they train your brain. Over time, they start modifying your feed, showing slightly more controversial content, slightly more emotional hooks, slightly more polarizing opinions. It's never too drastic. Just small shifts. From cute animals to pranks. From pranks to emotional outbursts. From outbursts to outrage. And soon you're doom scrolling political drama, conspiracies, and clickbait. You didn't jump to it, it was nudged into your mind. Slowly. Subtly. Below your conscious awareness. That's JND weaponized for engagement. It's not just visual or emotional either. Notifications are another example. Apps constantly adjust vibration strength, tone frequency, or light duration. When a slight change happens, you notice it, and your brain interprets it as important. That's why even if you're ignoring an app, it can catch your attention with just a subtle tweak. That's behavioral conditioning using the threshold of perception. Now imagine this applied in the political space. News outlets and social platforms use micro shifts in language, headline framing, and image selection to push certain narratives. You don't realize you're being influenced, because the change happens below your cognitive radar. It's not lying. It's shifting your perception, slowly, quietly. This also applies in relationships and communication. For instance, in manipulation or gaslighting, people may change their tone, responses, or boundaries slowly over time. The victim doesn't notice it immediately because the change is so subtle, just within their JND. Over time, their reality is altered, and by the time they do notice, the damage is already done. Now here's where it gets really deep. JND doesn't just affect your perception of the external world, it also influences your internal perception. Habits change this way. Your routine, discipline, motivation, they don't collapse overnight. They break one unnoticed action at a time. You sleep 10 minutes late today. You skip one workout tomorrow. You scroll 15 minutes more than us. The change is subtle. You don't feel it at first. But over weeks and months, your brain rewires itself. So what's the lesson here? If small changes can shape perception, behavior, and even identity, then awareness is your only defense. You must become aware of the barely noticeable. Learn to sense the micro-adjustments. Not just in the world, but within yourself. Here are 5 key takeaways you can apply. 1. Observe changes actively. Don't trust your memory blindly. Keep track of product sizes, app layouts, and service experiences. If something feels off, investigate it. 2. Train your sensory awareness. Develop mindfulness. Try noticing sounds, textures, emotions, and timing. The more sensitive your awareness, the more resistant you become to subtle manipulation. 3. Set fixed baselines. In finances, diet, habits, set clear starting points and review them. Don't allow slow leaks to go unnoticed. 4. Question convenience. Many small changes are sold as improvements. But who really benefits? You or the platform? Always ask. 5. Master micro habits. If small negative shifts can harm you, small positive shifts can transform you. Improve 1% every day. Build resistance through conscious, incremental growth. In conclusion, the world is not changed in big explosions, it's changed in whispers. You're not manipulated through massive lies, but through tiny truths twisted at the edge of your awareness. The just noticeable difference is a powerful psychological force. Once you understand it, you see the game behind the game. So the next time you feel something's changed, but you can't say what, pause. Pay attention. That moment of pause might be your first step to reclaiming control over your attention, your behavior, and your mind. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you understand how modern life subtly influences your perception, make sure to like, comment, and share this video. And if you want more deep dives into psychology, consciousness, and digital life, subscribe and hit the bell icon. The journey of awareness has only just begun.